Should be audio now, right? Yeah, there's 2 audios. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off one. Test, test. I think we have audio. Yeah, we have audio. It's good. Yeah, just need to make the audio. Oh shit, where's the? Just make sure I can diffuse this. Can you get the headphones on so that you can listen? Make sure audio is fine. Can you hear anything?
Yep.
So you hear the master? Can you hear anything? Okay, so you hear everything. Alright, that's good. Okay, laptop's all yours.
Can hear the music also.
I'm not too concerned, to be honest. Yeah.
Will the live get taken down?
No, no. Well, I do realize with YouTube it's a bit more forgiving than Facebook. Yeah. Okay. Have anyone watching yet? No, right? Oh, got 2, right? People tuned in. Okay, so we're gonna do the things in like really soon. Putting it at 60 FPS is actually really nice.
You sit down and see the light also.
Light should be good. No, it's really clear. It's really nice. Yeah, light is really clear.
I adjust the ISO higher on the camera.
Okay.
Because I don't mind if the TV overexposed a bit.
Okay. Could you have your laptop facing you so that you can control everything, and then you also hold the phone up? Yeah. Still setting up. Just about finished.
Okay, Canon.
All right. Okay. Alright, what's up everybody? I think we're about live now. Everybody should, we're just gonna let it run for a little bit before we continue on with the, that's my phone.
Somebody say no sound on the IG.
No sound? Oh, is it because the microphone's kind of blocked?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the microphone's kind of blocked by the table. Oh, you're gonna hold it for me? Ah, cheers, man. Thank you. What's that? Okay. So, okay lah. Give me a sec. Let me get the names in the bowl. That's one. Okay, we got a giant bowl for very little names. I think I should have got like a little porcelain cup. All right, so how many viewers we got on the live for IG?
We got 23.
20. Oh shit. Okay, that's quite a number. All right, I think we could go. We can go with 23. We're gonna do the live draws now. We're gonna start with. I wish we had graphics to show, but it's a lot of work to get it done in such little short time. So either way, mixing up the names right now. We're gonna start with welterweight first. Okay, we're gonna go welterweight, featherweight, and then we're gonna go flyweight. All right. So as people are tuning in, we're just gonna go in that order. So welterweight first, featherweight, and then we're gonna do the flyweights. So in my hand is a bowl, and the names are inside here, which I have written down with a pen, cut it up with scissors on a blank piece of paper. So here we go. Now, welterweight, there's 7 people, okay? I posted yesterday 6, but then around 10 p.m. we had 1 person last second join the welterweight category. So at least with 7 people, it'll be a bit okay now, but something that welterweights need to keep in mind of, since there's an odd number, we don't have 8 people, 1 person is gonna go by random. So this is can say it's unfair, but you know, we got 7, so we can't do much. So the person who won't be fighting on the 4th of May, most likely will fight on the 20th of July lah. Okay, so at least 1 person is gonna go straight to the semi-finals for the, since we have 7 people, for the upcoming events. So 1 person will straight away go to the semi-finals. We're going to see how things are going to go out. Once the brackets are drawn up, then it'll be a bit more clear, at least to the fighters. In the fighters group, I will explain further how is it going to be for the welterweights. Okay, so we're going to go with the first fight for the welterweights. First fight for welterweight. I'm not supposed to look at the names. Okay, first fight of the welterweight. Pick our name and hop. We got Timofey Mikhailov. Timofey Mikhailov will be fighting against Muhammad Gary. Okay, Timofey Mikhailov, you'll be fighting against Muhammad Gary. That's fight number 1. I'm just going to put it right here on the sofa so that I know who's going to fight who. There we go. All right, next fight for the welterweight division. We got Alrexen Jamasdin. Fighting up against, give you a good mix. Alrexen fighting against Kumarendran. Okay, Alrexen versus Kumarendran. We got 3 names left. Again, 1 person out of these 3 names would move straight to the semi-finals based out of luck. So yeah, it is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, so we got 3 names left. We're mixing it up. We got Mehruban Mardonov. Mehruban Mardonov, this is the guy that signed up last night at 10 p.m. Yeah, Mehruban Mardonov. Mehruban will be facing up against, between these 2 names, should I pick out? It's a good fight. Joseph King Do. Joseph and Mehruban will be facing off for the quarterfinals. That leaves one person that gets by to the semifinals, and that lucky person is Galvin Stephen. So Galvin gets a bye. He goes straight to the semifinals. But here are the fights. Galvin gets a bye, straight to semifinals. So Galvin, if you're watching the live stream, you're clear. No fight this on the 4th of May, unfortunately. If you want to fight, maybe we could hook you up with the undercard. Maybe we can find somebody. Hit me up if you do want to fight, so that you can keep yourself busy. That's fine. I can try to work something out for you. But the rest of the fights, Mehruban Mardonov versus Joseph King Do. We got Alrexon Jamasden versus Kumarendran, and we got Timofey Mikhailov versus Muhammad Gary. Great fights. Really, really great fights. Hey, by the way, we're not recording on the camera, right? Is it okay if you record it? Yeah, it's okay lah. At least it's fine. Just start recording. We can rip off the rest from the YouTube. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd like to speak a little bit about the fight, if you don't mind. I've written down quite a bit of in the captions for each fighter and for each fighter profile. So I think the most exciting fight here for the 4th of May, and I'm going to put this in the main card for sure, is going to be Joseph versus Mehruban Mardonov. That's going to be a hard one. That's going to be a good one. Joseph only 1-0 in MMA, but he's been fighting kickboxing. He's got about I think he's 5-3 in kickboxing, if I'm not wrong. But he's fought quite a bit in the kickboxing world as a brawler as well. Mehruban, a more technical fighter, but both of them love striking. Striking, MMA is the kind of things that we love to watch. But so I've heard Joseph also has good jiu-jitsu, and Mehruban as well is quite good with the grappling as well. So that's going to be the highlight fight for 4th of May in the welterweight division, Joseph versus Mehruban. Next we got Alrexon Jamasden versus Kumarendran. Kumarendran, another kickboxer, went all the way to the grand finals for another kickboxing promotion called Any Martial Arts. But he did that in 80 kilos and above. So Kumarendran is used to fighting people who are 90 kilos, even 100 kilo guy. So Kumarendran is, tough as nails when it comes to fighting these kind of people. But then again, it's MMA, right? MMA is a totally different game. Alrexon made his debut with our last event, and didn't do very well, but again, he fought in a higher weight class. This time around, he's fighting in a lower weight class at 77. Even when he first joined also, I kind of advised him to try to cut a bit of weight, and maybe he can find a bit better luck at welterweight. So Alrexon versus Kumarendran. And then the last one will be Muhammad Gary versus Timofey Mikhailov. Match made in heaven, because both guys debuting the MMAs and that was at random too. I didn't even pick. So if I were to pick, I would put the 2 debutees together, of course, due to if matchmaking was involved, but it's a tournament. We're not going to do matchmaking in a tournament. We're going to go by the whole randomness, and everybody kind of has to fight everyone as well. So 2 debutees going up against each other, I think that'll be fun. So Gary is going to fight against Timofey Mikhailov. And that concludes the welterweight division. We're going to move forward. Get the bowl. Hope everyone's doing good. Those of you who are non-Muslims, hope you guys have lunch already. Those of you who are Muslims, few more hours, guys, don't worry, okay? Few more hours. All right, you'll get there. You've done it for a few days already now, right? A few weeks. Raya's coming soon. That's gonna be nice. Dah beli baju raya dah? Belum lagi? Sama. Okay. Anyways, so next one. We got the featherweight division. I'm gonna give it a good mix. And we're gonna pick out the first name. Featherweight division right now. First name, first fight. Raymond Chi. Raymond, teammates of Kumarendran from Penang of Versus Combat Sports. Ran out of space. I'm just gonna put things in order. Okay. Raymond Chi, that's the first name in the featherweight. We got next. Gautam Raj. Gautam, Katam. You got a fight here. Your opponent will be Raymond Chi. It'll be a good fight. Gautam, our referee last event. Now he's fighting. He hasn't fought MMA in a while, but he has been training for quite some time. And it's nice to see him get into the competition again. So yeah, Gautam versus Raymond. Next fight. Ooh, Teguh Primadian. Oh God. We got. Oh! Oh, Nur Fadli. Oh, goodness me. There we go. Teguh versus Nur Fadli. The entire featherweight division makes me very, very excited. Featherweight and flyweight. There could be a lot of emotions going through me, especially because I've been around in the MMA scene for quite some time, so I kind of know a lot of these guys. So pulling out their names and seeing it, it's like, I'm a fan too, you know? I'm a fan of the whole thing. All right, we got next. Chia Ka Ting. Chia Ka Ting. Who will Chia Ka Ting fight? Need to look up. Romano Casio. Chia Ka Ting will be fighting against Romano Casio. And the final two fights, yeah, there's no drawing for this one, right? Lao Yiklong, it's a rematch. Lao Yiklong versus Ku Jinfu. They fought the last time. They fought last week. Sorry, not last week, 3 weeks ago. That rematch, I guess. Lao Yiklong versus Ku Jinfu for the rematch. Well, random. There we go. Okay. So, like I said, let me speak about the fights. Let's start with the one we just drew, Lao Yiklong versus Ku Jinfu. They fought the last recent event. So, yeah, you can watch that fight if you want. You go on the YouTube, it's right there. That's this one right here, yeah. It's right here, they're fighting right there. That's them. Rematch. Lao Yiklong versus Ku Jinfu. Well. Not much for me to say. You want to know more? I'll go watch the fight lah. It's right there. Go on Southpaw Malaysia YouTube channel. Should be under the main card. Yeah, go and check it out. Yeah, it was a very fun fight. It was a really good one as well to watch. Behind that, we have Chia Ka Ting versus Romano Casio. Romano made his debut with us in the last event. And he did pretty well. He finished his opponent in the very first round with the RNC. And from that very finish, he came up to me, he said he really wants to join this tournament. Because I did mention in the fighters group is that that the tournament, I wouldn't want to allow debutees. Of course, in the welterweight, we didn't have much people, so kind of let everyone join that one. But at least in the featherweight and the flyweight, since there's a huge amount, I said that if you win, there's a good chance I might give priority. So Romano, here's your chance. You got an opponent up again. You got a tough opponent against you. We got Chia Ka Ting. Chia Ka Ting haven't fought since when? 2021, I think. Good friend of mine, old friend of mine, moved to Singapore, trains at Homeground MMA now in Singapore. I think he's back in KL now. He texted me he's back in KL. Yeah, getting ready for his fight for 4th of May. So yeah, Chia Ka Ting, you're going to go up against Romano Casio. This is going to be a good one too. Not much for me to say about this other than that. Of course I have to mention the fact that Chia Ka Ting is quite the brawler, likes to make the fight dirty, but who knows, he hasn't fought in a while. Maybe the training and the game plan is a little bit different this time for him. Behind that, we got Tego versus Nur Fadli. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Fadli knows why I'm reacting like this probably. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight too. These two guys are really, really, really good. Fadli is very explosive. Tego loves to play the wrestling. Yeah, I think these guys was somewhat supposed to fight each other. Not really supposed to fight each other. I think there was a few times I did ask Fadli, are you down to fight Tego? And then at the time, Fadli kind of mentioned that he wasn't ready. But this time around, when he signed up for the Grand Prix, he told me he knows that he's getting into a whole pool of sharks. The featherweight division is no joke. And he considers himself one of those sharks too. So it is going to be a tough fight for Tego as well. So yeah, Tego is going to be fighting against Nur Fadli. Tego, not much for me to mention about him other than the fact that he is the leading amateur fighter for the featherweight and the lightweight division in Malaysia, leading. So that I would say that he's the top fighter lah. And he mentioned to me that this is going to be his last run for a title fight, and after that he's going to move to professionals, even though I've been trying to get him to go professional since last year. So last one for you to go, last one, right? But you got to win. Fadli's no joke, okay? So, and then finally we have Raymond versus Gautam. It's a good one too. This one, another one, match made in heaven, you know. Gautam's been competing on and off, I think, mostly in Muay Thai. Yeah, he's been competing mostly in Muay Thai as of recently. And it's nice to see him back in the MMA routes. But he first started, I think when he did his debut in MMA long ago, back in 2018, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and this was right after Malaysian invasion kind of just sort of dropped off. They did an event in Quill City Mall at that time, and Gautam fought in that one. So yeah, it's been a while since Gautam competed in mixed martial arts, but I know he has been busy at fighting Muay Thai and at fighting, I think he's been grappling as well, right? He's been doing comps for grappling? Oh no, he hasn't? Okay, just training then. Yeah, but the where he trains at, there's a lot of grappling killers. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. And Raymond as well. Raymond, kickboxer, made it to the grand finals of the kickboxing promotion, similar to Kumarendran at Any Martial Arts. Yeah, and he's making his debut in mixed martial arts. So he makes his debut in mixed martial arts, but I know that Raymond is a tough fighter, is a really tough fighter, and has had many fights in kickboxing. So know that this guy is going to show up, he's going to make the fight really interesting. Good fights for the featherweight division concluded. So recap featherweight real quick. Raymond versus Gautam, Tego versus Nur Fadli, Chia Ka Ting, Romano Casio, and rematch Lau Yit Long versus Ku Jin Fu. Okay, flyweights. Woo-hoo. This is the category I am most excited about because it is a no-nonsense category. Really. I mean, no disrespect to featherweight and the welterweights, right? But if you look at the track record of all the flyweights that joined, yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. I'm really hyped for the flyweights. I was really prepared to even make all the flyweights the main card for this upcoming event. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna mix up the names now. We're gonna pull out the very first name. I'll give you a good mix. Okay. Very first name. Lucas Vigna. Lucas Vigna will be fight. Need more space. Right, got space over there. Lucas Vigna is the first fighter to be pulled out in the flyweight division. Let's see who will Lucas fight. Lucas on a win streak right now. Let's mix. And pop. Sabik Ali. Sabik from India. He'll be flying down to Malaysia to be competing in this tournament. So Sabik will be facing against Lucas. I'll talk more about that later on. Sabik Ali will be facing off against Lucas Vigna. Oof. Next up. Ooh. Fazli Nazir. Some people call him Fazli July, but on his Instagram, he's called War Baby MMA. Fazli from Sarawak. How many viewers we got?
We've got 21.
Oh, not many. Okay, great. Okay. Next up, flyweight. Bobby Tan Bo Meng. That's a fire fight. I'll talk about it later. Bobby Tan Bo Meng versus Fazli Nazir. Oof. Up next. Let's pick Akmal Sabri. Next. Not bad. Muhammad Furkan from Singapore. Not bad. Could have just done the matchmaking if these were going to be the fights. I'll explain more later. And then the last one. Yeah, I could have just done the matchmaking. Last one will be Oliver Joel versus Oscar Chai Kai Hei. There we go. Let me talk about it. Let's start with the Oscar and Oliver. It's gonna be a good fight. 2 O's, Oscar, Oliver. Oliver, a grappler, been fighting for quite some time at other promotions, and nice to see him want to step inside in Rage MMA, and right here at the cage for his debut with Rage at least lah. But he's been fighting over in other promotions in Malaysia as well. Oliver, very good with his grappling, and he's gonna go up against someone pretty tough too, Oscar. Ooh, child prodigy, I would say. He's not the youngest in the flyweight. That's Furkan. Furkan is the youngest. He's 17 years old. But we'll get to Furkan after. Oscar, knockout. What I would say is that he's a knockout artist. Yeah. So he knows and he loves to chase the knockouts. But he's very sharp. Yeah, he used to brawl back when he was a little bit younger. Like a few years ago, he used to brawl a lot. But then now he's like kind of be a bit more technical. I think now under the wing of Coach Kin, right? Kin and King Fai, Oscar really tightened up his striking, and of course, what's important here is that I think Kin's been helping out with Oscar's takedown defense as well, and a bit of his grappling. So I think that's going to be great to watch. Oscar versus Oliver. Like I said, I could have just done the matchmaking. All these fights are really well matched, because even Oscar and Oliver is a fight that I would have matched. Even like this out of random, right? I would just put them together. This would have been my first choice to make the fights. And then after that as well, we have Akmal Sabri versus Muhammad Furkan. Again, I could have just done the matchmaking, because Akmal Sabri record is like 1-2, and then Furkan's record is 1-1, or is it 2-1? Both have 3-fight experience. Like really, most of the matchmaking here is like, I could have just done it. I could have just done it, posted it up, you know, and people would be fine with it. But I wanted to keep things, you know, at random. I don't want to make like clear matchmaking or whatever. So yeah, Akmal Sabri versus Furkan. That's gonna be a good one too. Furkan, I don't know much about Furkan other than the fact that I did watch him compete in Johor before. Obviously he's from Singapore, so competing in Johor is very easier lah, because travel is less, right? So yeah, Furkan, very explosive, youngest as well, 17 years old. So this kid's got a lot of future ahead of him, and he sent me some fire photos too. When I made the poster, I was like really excited. You know, even he looks really confident at 17 years old. But he's facing up against someone much older than him, Akmal. Akmal Sabri fought in the last show, couldn't get a win, but still Akmal is under good hands. He is training with Teguh there in Penang. So, you know, they're going to come up with good game plan, and hopefully, you know, this is going to be quite a good fight too. Following behind that, Fazli Nazir versus Bobby Tan Bo Meng. This is woo! A big woo. Man, Bobby has a chance will have a chance at avenging his teammate's loss. Teammate was his teammate was Johnson Pang. So Johnson fought against Fazli in the very first Rage event that was in December. Fazli got the TKO win. Even if it wasn't going to go to a TKO, it was going to be a very clear 30-27 win there for Fazli. So Bobby's going to have a chance here at sort of avenging Johnson, so to say. But this is a fire fight because Fazli, if you ask me, like the few people that I would think may end up in the finals is definitely these two names, and of course Lucas, and of course most likely Sabik. I'll get to Lucas and Sabik in a bit. But yeah, Bobby versus Fazli is fire. Real good fight. You guys want to come and watch? I'm gonna put this in the main card too, like for sure. This is easy main card stuff. So sorry boys, the two of you gotta fight like, you know, 9 p.m. So I know some fighters, they like to request, they want to fight like early and all. You don't do that with us. Yeah. Anyways, final fight, we got Lucas versus Sabik. This is also gonna be a main card fight. I think all the flyweights gonna be main card. That was really good fights. Lucas, second youngest, 18 years old, or did he turn 19 already? I forgot. Yeah, but 18, 19, Lucas. This kid's on a tear right now from Brazil. Migrated here in Malaysia with his parents coaching in Monarchy MMA, and that's where Lucas does his training too. Lucas, some guys from Monarchy would even call him like a mini Charles Oliveira. He's got good Muay Thai and tremendous Jiu-Jitsu, purple belt with Jiu-Jitsu as well. Yeah, fought with us in the last event, did a really good show, super technical kid. And up against him is someone from India. Now, I don't know much about this guy, but when I was writing up his profile, of course I had to read and go through what he's gone through and everything. If I'm not wrong, he is a Muay Thai champion there in Dubai. So he's from India, but I think he is based in Dubai, and he does his training over there. As far as I could tell, he's got 1 win and 1 loss in his, that's what he sent over to me, but he did post on his Instagram, and the way he performed in his mixed martial arts fights, quite good too. He's a very technical guy, at least for his striking. It's gonna be good, you know, because, you know, India's pretty good, as far as I know, generally India's pretty good with their wrestling, but I'm unsure about Sabik. So, because Sabik trains over in Dubai, and he's been mostly active in the Muay Thai scene, so this is gonna be a good fight. Sabik versus Lucas, very, very good fight. I can't wait for it. So I'm going to recap the flyweight fights. We got Lucas Sabik, we got Fazli versus Bobby, we got Akmal versus Furkan, and Oscar versus Oliver. All the best to all you flyweights out there. And then we're going to recap back with the featherweights. We got Muhammad Gary. Sorry, that's a welterweight. Back to the featherweights, we got Raymond versus Gautam, Teguh versus Nur Fadli. We got Romano Casio versus Chia Kating, and of course the rematch between Lao Yitlong and Ku Jinfu. And finally, the welterweights. The first fight will be Muhammad Gary versus Timofey Mikhailov. We have Alrekson Jamazdan fighting against Kumar Rendran. And we have the more anticipated welterweight bout. We have Mehruban Mardanov versus Joseph King Du. And then Galvin gets a bye. Yeah, so Galvin doesn't get to fight this upcoming 4th of May. But again, if Galvin wants to fight, reach out. We'll see if we can get you a fight. At least if you want to keep yourself warm, you are more than welcome to keep yourself warm. So yeah, let me know if you want to fight. But hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, this impromptu. It's not really impromptu. I did plan for it, but I didn't plan it very well. Everything seems very impromptu, but yeah. Either way, I hope the results were great. We're gonna get to the graphics tonight, and then I'm gonna post up the brackets because how many viewers we got in total, anyways? 20?
Now we've got 5.
All right, yeah, it's finished, right? Yeah. So yeah, done. I'm gonna get the graphics up. All right, we can close that. Save all of it, yeah, so that people can rewatch it.
Galvin said something.